All right, guys, I'm going to sit here and smoke with you. Now, here's the deal. If you go to a library and you find an old copy of, I believe it's a 1959 Encyclopedia Americana, and you look up Admiral Byrd's Operation High Jump and the NASA Fishbowl operation, they basically do confirm that there's a dome above us. They confirm it. Now, if you go online and try to look up that book, it's not in there anymore. See, it's this Orwellian memory hole shit where they're literally changing the history. Think about it. You got kids that you're teaching a Common Core, right? What I want you to know. And you got adults that you're dumbing down so bad with Alzheimer's and medication and shit that they can't accurately recall the past anyway and tell you how things were, right? So it really only takes a couple generations to completely rewrite history. And that's exactly what they're doing. That is exactly what they're doing. Now, I think that I have figured out a few things by looking into these channels about the mud flood, the mud fossils, and just if you look at Wise Up's channel, man, he's showing you what looks like ancient technology that basically, like a piece of machinery that got wet, sunk in the ocean for a while, the water receded, and then, it may have been buried by sludge and stuff. See, this is what I think. I think that there's a flood that happens way more often, and there's been floods way more recent than what they say. Now, it's actually genius. I hats off to them all the time. I gotta just hats off to the fucking globalists, because if you believe you live on a globe, then why would you ever think that you could get flooded? You got me? Do you know what I'm saying? Why would you ever? It wouldn't even enter your mind. But on a flat realm with a whirlpool in the middle, what if we're like, our landmass is literally like a cork that's kind of just gently bobbing in the great deep. I mean, shit, all you'd have to do is just push on it. Push on it and let the water sink in and then let it pop back up, you know what I mean? Literally. Like, I'm telling you, these channels are showing evidence of, like, okay, he brings you to the Giza pyramids. He'll show you the pyramid, but he'll bring you to a picture where you can see that the actual level ground that the pyramid is on, part of it's broken away. And you look down, you can see that the level ground is all built, like just like the pyramids are, these interlocking things. And he says that shit goes down a ways, almost like this place was built by somebody, like Legos, I mean, it's a little out there at first, right? Until you start looking into, like, they'll show you like Petra, the city of Petra. Man, I can't think of the names of some of these places, but what they look like is that a lot of them look like they were actual buildings that were like melted by heat or something, or fucking, just water came down and like parts. If you look at this, some of these guys will show you pictures of the Great Wall of China. Right, like back in the early 19th century, black and white photos where parts of it is fucking knocked down. What knocked it down? What knocked down the Colosseum? Cannonballs? They sat there with cannonballs and just shot one, you know what I mean? It makes no sense. You start thinking about a flood, and you start thinking about a flood that happens way more often. It would make sense. If I know this place is getting flooded just like it does every 250 years, every 600 years, or something like that, okay? Then what the fuck do I care about you? What do I care about the rainforest? What do I care about anything? All I care about is getting mine, because I know that it's going down no matter what. No matter what. And I think that, some of these people show evidence to suggest that there were giants that lived in this world. There were other beings. You find those things with the big skulls and shit. What were those? With the elongated skulls? You know what I mean? I think that that's exactly what it is. I think it's a project. It's a goddamn experiment. I really think that's what it is. And every now and then, whenever it gets to a critical mass, or once we all find out that we're literally in a dome, they destroy it again and start over. I don't know. Think about it. What if you were a being that didn't die, or you lived to be thousands of years old? You're just on a different realm than us. You would take and build something like this, just like we do. Ant farms and such. I mean, it sounds out of control, you know, and it sounds crazy, but it's really not. It's not. With all the other shit that we're looking into and we're starting to find out, it makes sense. You know, there's evidence to suggest that they hide large skeletons. There's evidence to suggest that there have been plenty of large skeletons found. And then when you look at some of these things, it's like a whole mountainside with all these holes in it. It literally looks like it was machined, and it goes up for fucking stories. Like, how did they do that? You think about people our size, then you start thinking about, okay, what if they were 20, 30 feet tall? What if it was completely different, you know? And there were large trees. I think somewhere in the Bible it talks about God turning everything to stone, because some of what we see that's exactly what it looks like. Literally looks like the shit was just turned to stone, you know. And if not, then, you know, it was water and sediment, and, you know, like if you put a piece of wood, if a piece of wood gets lodged into limestone and it, you know, water runs down, and over time, they say that it'll petrify. It'll actually turn to limestone. Like, so it makes sense. It makes sense to me. And all this stuff about flat Earth, and, you know, it makes way more sense than the heliocentric bullshit. And I'm telling you, if there's a flood that happens way more recent and way more often, then the heliocentric plan is fucking genius. Absolutely genius. Because you can't bring it up. You can't, you know, because the only way there could be a flood on a ball would be with an asteroid or some large earthquake, but that doesn't constitute a flood. That's more like one area gets nailed with a huge tsunami. That ain't what we're talking about. We're talking about a flood. Peace.